We are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Building Bridges. I'm back after a couple of weeks hiatus, and my guest today is someone who I work with at LDA. Your name, we're going to call you Aztec, okay?
Sounds good.
Difficult because, you've got a few of them.
Yeah,
So
different
thanks.
emphasis.
Yeah, thanks so much for being my guest today. There's not very many people watching right now. It'll usually pick up during this stream. But one thing that I want the people who are watching to know is that I am doing a special second stream this week on Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific with BitBoy. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you can't make it live, catch the replay. I think it'll be an interesting stream for
Sounds
sure.
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, right? I'm looking forward to it. All right. So for today, Aztec, do you want to give a brief introduction to yourself? Like, when did you get into crypto? When did you start working here? What are you interested in?
So I've been in crypto since 2016. Been an early investor in a lot of very successful projects, and I'm interested in the future of money and always looking for the next big project and play. So I'm interested to see where this goes today. To learn more about what Richard Hart's building specifically today. But yeah, I'm always looking for the next new thing.
Cool. Yeah. And you were following Richard early during all of the drama with Hex and everything, but you didn't get into Hex. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Do you have any idea or thoughts about why it was, even though you were following him fairly closely because you watched one of my interviews with him live, and that was before I worked for LDA.
Yeah, I follow Richard Hart more because I think he's a great mind. Um, but I just never delve into like his actual project. I mean, there's a million different projects out there. And so it's not necessarily anything against uh, Hex. It's more just that I was already, so ingrained in so many different ecosystems. So just never, pulled the trigger on doing the deep dive because I'm not about just buying, what everyone says or, looking at, what's hot on YouTube. I really dive deep. I read the white papers. I look at what are the pros, the cons, and why things are going to be successful, and just never picked up his project. But I've followed Richard Hart for a long time. He's a really brilliant guy.
Yeah, I think everyone watching this pretty much would agree with that. So, you've heard me talk about Hex quite a bit and read a lot of tweets about it recently. And then in a recent meeting, I was like, hey, guys, if Pulse isn't on your radar, it should be. And it completely derailed our whole conversation and led into a huge tangent. You were there for that, right? Yeah.
Was this a team meeting?
It may have been the one that you were sick for.
Yeah. I just recently recovered, so I don't think I was there for that one.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to mention that on stream that you weren't there. Okay. So yeah, I completely derailed the team meeting and we had this long, hour-long discourse about Pulse. And okay, so Pulse Chain is a fork of the Ethereum ecosystem. So instead of, just forking Ethereum, essentially Richard and the team of developers that he hired and that's working on this forked everything. So they're specifically taking out a couple of things that were that he felt like were copycats of Hex or that were that intentionally targeted Hexicans and caused them to lose substantial amount of money. But for the most part, everything that is on Ethereum is going to exist on Hex. So when the snapshot occurs, which is going to be after this sacrifice period that's coming up, when the snapshot occurs, you'll get a copy of whatever your ERC20 tokens are on Hex. There'll be, I think, PRC20 tokens though instead. And everything is just with a P before it. I think Richard has spoken a little bit about potentially removing some other things that are like obvious scams, but there's discussion about what should be included and what should be removed. Everyone's allowed to contribute to the conversation in the Pulse Chain Telegram chat.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been really cool to, like, I don't know, watch the develop. In fact, like, the community named it Pulse.
I like the name. I think it's a great name. I also like the the bright colors that he uses. I think it's great for, you can use that for marketing and everything.
Yeah,
Coming from a marketing background.
Nope. Aztec never fudded Hex. You never fudded Hex, did you?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so. No, not him. There was another LDA employee who had spread some Hex FUD, who's been on the show before, and and has apologized and has really come around, but that was not him. Okay, so let's see. Shall we first talk about the sacrifice phase? Have you looked into it at all, or is this really like full?
Not very much. Yeah, I mean, you invited me to come over, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to learn and soak it up. I mean, I don't know how much I'm actually going to contribute to the conversation, but
okay.
I'm just interested to see what it's about.
Okay. Well, hey guys, at any time, if I'm missing something or if you feel like I'm going out of order, feel free to send me a note in the comments, because I am paying attention, even though I'm not looking at them 100%. I am seeing them, and I can tell when something is important and when it's just you guys talking. Okay. So let's see. Let's start with the sacrifice phase, because that's going to be happening sometime in the next week or so, theoretically. So the way that the sacrifice phase is going to work is you're going to be able to sacrifice your Ethereum or ERC20 tokens for Hex. And then I think what the plan was that it would be relative to the dollar value of the tokens at the time of your sacrifice, would be what you're getting in Pulse. But the Pulse, the idea is that at the airdrop, all of the tokens will be worth a 0, and that's because to eliminate that tax liability for people, because getting tokens in an airdrop is a taxable event, right? So the tokens will be worth 0, and then knowing what kind of price parity they're going to reach on Pulse, or what, when, that's something that we don't know yet. That's just like all part of the game theory. A lot of people are working on figuring that out. It'll be about 3 months after the sacrifice period that the product actually launches. And that's another estimate just based on some of the, conversation discourse within the Telegram group.
So if you don't want to sacrifice any ETH, how soon will you be able to buy it on the open market?
Yeah, so you'll be able to buy it when the product launches, not before. Like, to buy it at whatever the rate that it settles at is, like, whatever the launch rate is, and that's, like I said, about 3 months. That's like a rough estimate. And then also, if you don't want to sacrifice your ETH, you will get an airdrop. So any tokens that you're holding in a self-custodial wallet, you'll get copies of those ERC20s on Pulse. And then with Ethereum, you'll also get a copy, but it's diluted by 10,000%. So, you get one. I think the max supply is 1 trillion is what I've been hearing. And I think so let's say you have 10,000 ETH, that would get you 1 Pulse. And that idea is to eliminate the problem of whales who then come in and jump on the market. And it's something that Richard has talked about, that having been the real problem with Bitcoin Cash, because they gave a bunch of tokens to people who were not going to support it, and they're able to just come in and dump all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So someone is asking, what is your perspective on the market and what's in your bag?
um, I think my perspective on the market is that as long as we don't break below 45K, and I mean, I don't have my screen share here, but like if I had my trading view, you know, it looks like we're creating a large uh, head and shoulders type pattern, and you know that could potentially be bearish. Though on the flip side of that, if you zoom out, we recently touched the 21 weekly average, and in 2017 we did that multiple times. Every time we touched it, we bounced very nicely from there. So personally, because of all of the institutional interest, and you know, with the inflation of the dollar, and you know, all fiat currencies because of printing, I really believe that assets are going to continue going up. And I think this area, we're receiving a lot of FUD because we receive a lot of FUD in these red times, but I think we're going to bounce from here. We may go a little bit lower. You know, we could see, you know, closer to 45K, but that's still above the 21. We'll probably still be above the 21 weekly average, and I think we'll bounce.
A few weeks ago, you and I said that we were getting out of Bitcoin and into stable coins and more alts. And some of the people who we worked with were like, are you guys crazy? And I think we've both done very well with that move.
Yeah, I mean, I still hold a lot of my staking tokens because, you know, to me, like part of my strategy is staking, and for the long term, you know. And then Bitcoin, though, I did pull out towards the top, and then you know I got back in. I posted this on my Twitter, and then recently I'm kind of in between a lot of trades, but still in most of my staking plays.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to share what's in your bag, or at least what's in your, long-term staking queue?
Sure. I mean, I some of them that I'll share is Quick, Matic. Um, Matic, I mean, I've been holding Matic since the beginning, so there's, you know, I don't really think you need to necessarily take profits. Plus, the unlock is pretty long, because I think the market's going to continue, you know, so I'm not really worried about rushing out of, you know, all plays. You know, obviously, Quick, I like the decks, and then also UFT. I'm heavily connected with the project, you know, and I'm heavily connected with a lot of these projects. Just so everyone knows, I'm invested. They're
A lot of these projects are LDA projects, which we legally have to tell you.
yeah. So I'm not, you know, not giving financial advice here, but these are just some of the main ones that I stake.
And XPRT, of course, right?
And XPRT also, yeah.
So Avatash has been on this show. Hopefully at some point Chandresh will be coming on. We've had that scheduled before, but just had to cancel due to bad timing and illness and everything. So, okay. All right. So a lot of the coins that you are holding are tokens or coins that have heavy P load, right? Like heavy S load.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
Staking load. So like when people have to unstake them on Ethereum, that's expensive. Every time you have to restake and unstake, especially these days. So that's really the reason for Pulse, was that hexagons with shorter stakes were having to pay thousands of dollars to stake their money, and then ending up, or to stake and unstake, and then ending up losing just a huge portion of the value. Pulse really, I think the first people who it will attract will be those, I don't know, coins, projects, tokens that with a heavy S load, especially those that are aiming at blockchain interoperability or multi-chain ability.
So are you saying that it will have a more affordable gas rate,
Yes.
gas fees?
Yes, much more affordable gas fees. That's really the intent of the whole. It's the reason for the fork.
Well, is this already quantified? Like, do we know, like, we'll be seeing, prices around these levels, or is it still?
I don't think that we have exact answers on that yet. There's still a lot that's up in the air.
Cool.
Yeah. So, okay, someone says you don't sacrifice. You sacrifice not for hex. Okay, I didn't say you sacrifice for hex. I said you sacrifice for pulse. But you can sacrifice coins to receive X, which is something that doesn't exist yet. And then those X are what make you eligible for free pulse token drops. So I guess that's what's important is you sacrifice for X because X has no value, and then and then having X will make you eligible for the free pulse token drops. Let's see, what else have people said? There've been a lot. Okay. That's not true. Pulse speed supply expansion phase. Hey, bro. Okay, who gives a fuck? This is World War III and the end of the world. Time to get back with God. Okay. Not sure. Not sure how that's relevant. 3-second blocks on pulse. What's the block size? Okay. All right, guys, what else do I really need to impart? What's like the most important things that I can share? Let's see. Yeah, so the sacrifice phase is, probably going to start sometime within the next week. It'll be about, just estimating. People have given different time frames, but like some people are seeming to say it's going to be about 3 months.
Is there going to be any products that launch on top of, since it has it's Ethereum, has smart contracts, I'm assuming. Is there going to be any major products that he's going to launch, or that are other projects that are going to launch on top of Pulse initially, maybe like a DEX?
Yeah, I think so. I know that there have been conversations with Uniswap, and I think what we know right now is that the same people who operate Uniswap are going to operate Uniswap on Pulse. I don't know if it's going to have a different name or a different team, but at least the option for, what's his name? It starts with an H. Anyway, the option exists for Uniswap to operate Uniswap on Pulse.
Is it that Pulse is EVM compatible, so that essentially you can just copy and paste over any type of dApp that's on Ethereum easily?
Exactly. So it's not just EVM compatible; it is a clone of Ethereum, but it's actually made with implementing proof of staking. So proof of stake, eliminating proof of work. And I guess that is part of, what people say that is the big problem. That's what's causing the massive fees for Ethereum right now is the miners, because that's where those fees are going.
Yeah. Obviously, there's the different proposals that are coming towards July, and so we'll see how that affects everything. Is this something like the proposals that get updated on Ethereum? Will they also be updated on Pulse, as time goes?
Yeah, that's what I would suspect. Yeah. So someone says it's important to stress that the gas fees will be a handful of cents. The whole point is for new users in the crypto space. Boomers, for example, aren't put off by ridiculous fees once they see it working.
Nice. Yeah, that would be really important. I mean, anything that can offer a better solution and better fees is going to receive adoption, and that's exciting. I assumed that would be the case, so it's why I'm interested in Hex, because obviously Ethereum's a beast. I love Ethereum, but
we all love Ethereum too. That's why, yeah. So someone says it's important that you listen to Aubrey from the Sense Foundation. He was on a stream with Vitalik, and speculation, but a lot of people believe that the person who he was talking about on this stream, coming up with a better, more efficient chain is Richard, and that's because they had recently streamed together, and it seems as though there's some
Synergy.
some synergy, some alliance there.
What?
So that's an advice recommendation.
Cool.
It's disgusting that speaking of Richard Hart is like cussing. Who said that? Oh, because Aubrey couldn't say his name on the stream. Yeah, I was wondering if that was more out of if that was respect for Vitalik, or if that was I don't know, trying to be secretive. I was like, what is going on? And Vitalik was smiling too, which I thought was really strange. Something that we discussed on Twitter, but yeah, I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on that. What was that? So X will have value. Remember, that's what RH was telling. We'll have the bonding curve so that first sacrifices doesn't outrun next buyers. That's right, the bonding curve. Okay. Sounds correct. Sloan function. Gas fees are to push away plebs and let the wealthy get their positions first. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Boomer friendly is a great marketing campaign. Vitalik smiles when he shits his pants. Okay.
Great questions, guys.
Yeah. A lot of small-time players are put off from dollar cost averaging because the ETH gas fees are far too high. Money, as always, goes to money. That's true. I mean, I think a lot of the people who get into crypto for the first time don't even understand gas fees because they're not buying on DEXs. They're buying on platforms like Coinbase or other platforms that
gateways.
Fees are high, but compared to Ethereum gas fees, man, that's affordable. There's a reason that centralized exchanges exist.
Right.
Yeah. So all ERC20s will be copied. A couple of projects like Illuminate are going to be built on Pulse.
Interesting. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah. Anybody want to share more about Illuminate? Someone asked, is Vitalik the hex god whale? Is Richard Satoshi? That's a really interesting question. It's one that has crossed my mind. So I don't think that we should start that conversation though at all, because it seems like every community that does ends up suffering for it. What do you think?
About people claiming to be Satoshi?
Yeah, or even communities claiming that their leader is Satoshi.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it. I mean, just look at I forget his name, but the guy from BSP.
Yeah. Craig.
Craig Wright. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work out well for him, so probably isn't going to work out for anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think that's the kind of thing that we should start discussing. Okay, so someone says, ask Aztec, as a new person who hears about sacrifice, what is your first thought? You send your crypto to some address and lose it forever. And in return, you are not supposed to expect to get anything at all. That's the point. That's the reason for the legal term sacrifice.
At first, when I first hear it, it doesn't sound great. But then once you realize, you have to do your DD on everything, and then once you realize that it's actually going to save you on taxes, that's genius.
Mm-hmm. But it is kind of difficult to wrap your head around that initially, right? Even I at first was like, Jesus, we're doing this whole religion thing again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's genius. People degen into all kinds of things. I think that at least this makes sense once you really actually do a little bit more research. There seems to be fundamentals in actual technology here. It's not simply it's not a meme coin or something,
Yeah, I agree. It's not a meme coin. All right, so when my kid purchased $300 ETH to swap to Hex, he ended up with only $150 to stake. That is disgusting. Yes, that's disgusting. That's the point. I tried to stake a different ERC20 asset really recently, and the fees, it wanted like $1,700 to stake what was about $1,700.
It's insane.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's ridiculous.
If I was barely getting into crypto, then yeah, I would not ever want to use Uniswap, and I would be looking for, any solution. But I mean, at this point, I've done really well for myself. So $100, $200, $300, $400 fees doesn't bother me, but I get that that's legitly like not 80 to 90% of crypto. So
yeah,
it has to be solved.
Yeah, it has to be solved. My philosophy is that everyone is Satoshi. Yeah, I share it actually. Like, I'm you and you're me and we're all one, right? So yeah, Craig really is Satoshi because we all are. I agree. Someone else, as much as we are all Guy Fawkes, well, we all are Guy Fawkes, man. I'm asking because, like a hexagon, there's no doubts, but how does it sound for someone new? Okay, yeah. Can you get more into that, like sacrifice, like your initial thoughts, or did you did a little bit of research on it first?
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't know who Richard Hart was, I would automatically say it was a scam. But because I know who Richard Hart is and I followed him for so long, I know he's not here for, something, shady. He's really here to make things better and bring people up, So I think there's a lot of context, and when you look at crypto in general, what did anyone think about when they first heard of Bitcoin? Magic internet money.
Yeah.
We all are about many projects. When you first see them, you're skeptical, but that's what investing is about, is doing your own DD, getting down. And when you do it, I guess initially things sound interesting, but then, if you know who Richard Hart is, and then if I think also I like to base things off past success, what developers were able to do in the past. And, we see that Hex itself was extremely successful. So, is Pulse going to be successful? I don't think, we can, I know not financial advice, but it seems that, he probably will be, so.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's how a lot of people are feeling right now, especially a lot of people. Well, I think everybody who got in on Hex really early is like, yeah, we're getting in on this because they've got they've got the experience of 1,000xing, and then a lot of the people who didn't get in on Hex but have since realized that it, not only was the product good, but also the strength of the community and like the way that the community works together to market the product, to market Richard, to reach new people, that's itself extremely valuable. And that, well, do you want to bet for or on or against those people again? So, I'm definitely one of those that's like, yeah, I definitely am not going to be betting against Mexicans anytime soon.
Yeah, it seems like a really strong community. I mean, I have connections to a lot of Hexicans because of QuickSwap, and they seem like you guys seem like a very strong community. I'm also really interested. I see there's also a big difference between Hex and Pulse, and the fact that here we have smart contracts. So that's interesting to me. Platforms are probably what I'm most interested in.
Yeah, I agree. And it means that there's a lot more room for other people, like for projects that may have been not interested in getting involved in Hex because they just weren't interested in time locking their money, to get interested in working with Pulse. So yeah, the community here definitely has the potential to be significantly bigger. The whole approach is very, very, very much different than it was with Hex. And the whole space, I think, perceives this all much, much differently now than a year ago. Things have changed radically.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the success that Hex has had. I mean, you can't dismiss this future project.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So someone says, thank you very much. I think that was a really good answer. I also think doing research and trusting in crypto is the way to go.
Definitely.
Trusting less, research more.
Yeah. I'm definitely a big research guy. I mean, that's just part. I would probably say this is the beginning of my research for Pulse.
Yeah, I think it's something that should be on our radar because we do, especially like even like as individuals for people who invest our own money, right? And then also as people who advise clients who have staking coins who want cross chain and interchain and multi chain capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have all the capabilities of Ethereum and lower gas fees, there's so much more experimentation that can happen. And, any type of solution right now, you look at many projects that are doing well, it's because they provide, a solution. And this is great.
Yep, and someone says, I understand from Richard, the S-load function within Ethereum code is what the Pulse chain will solve with lower fees for everyone, transferring, swapping, and staking ERC20s. And ERC 771s. And I understand there will be a bridge. I think that's something that's being worked on, a bridge. Yeah, nothing wrong with trust, but verify. FUD on Hex was such an opportunity that became life-changing for me. I got into Hex from day one and put in $8,000 in ETH over 3 months. When Hex touched 7 cents, I became a millionaire when all my stakes mature. Imagine what I will be worth in 5 years' time.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's how a lot of people are like, okay, well, this is a completely different product because we're not talking about a CD or a time lock. We're talking about a smart contract platform with low fees. So, thinking that it's going to perform the same or similarly to Hex would probably be a mistake, especially just making that assumption. But,
you're also launching within a bull market. So, I mean, even tokens like SHIB are doing well. So if you have something that's actually a solution, that's cool.
Well, hopefully within a bull market, right? I mean, 3 months from now, things could be radically different.
Could be. I personally believe that we're still going to be in a bull market.
In 3 months? Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So your bags are the value you possess temporarily, and that value does not equate to your existential worth. Yes, Brennan, we know. All right, so
something that someone said I want to comment on, they were saying that there was a lot of FUD, and I think that there's FUD in many projects, and FUD is an opportunity, especially in fundamentally strong projects that have a future. That actually, for me, gets me more interested in a project, because if people are hating on it, there's probably a good chance it's because it's doing something right, it's successful, something, So, I mean, partly because Hex does get FUD, I'm interested.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that there's more than one hexagon, and myself included, like I became interested in the project because I thought that it would, because I was like studying crypto tribalism. There are a lot of people who got interested because they wanted to know, why is everyone calling this a scam?
Yeah, Richard did really well marketing it, though, because I followed him for a long time. So, I mean, the way he goes out and he can speak to something, and he can answer any question that anyone has, and the way he just went guns blazing on many different shows and everything. I mean, that was great for Hex, so.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about the 8-hour live streams because they're really long, right? But he'll sit there and answer everyone's questions. I mean, how many crypto founders do you see doing 6-hour 6-hour live stream AMAs where they're really just taking random questions from the audience.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that the core developers, the CEO, I mean, whoever it is, whatever project is actually active. If they're not as active or it's an anon team, I mean, it just gives an entirely different feel. I think that's why like projects like Cardano, do so well, because the leader, and something I've actually learned from you more is, this is kind of funny, because we had this conversation recently, is that, people need to see, strong leadership, and obviously Hex has strong leadership.
Yeah, that was funny because that was one of the first things that I brought up. I was like, hey, these projects want to become top 100 projects, top 20 projects. Well, the way that we do that is create this really strong leader figure. And at first I think you said, like, you guys were like, what, what's she talking about? And recently, yeah. I mean, but the problem is that not everyone can do that,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So someone asks, should Richard consider playing the game and buy off the exchanges to avoid Pulse Chain being gatekept?
Mm.
What do you think?
So him owning a large percentage of the tokens, so that the exchanges don't hold a large percentage of the tokens? Is that what?
No. So what Barry Crump is saying is he's asking it. He's saying that the game of crypto is to get the large exchanges to list your token early on, is to give them a large chunk of your token. So he's asking if you think that Richard should consider playing that game and buying off the exchanges to avoid that gatekeeping, which is something that he refused to do with Hex.
Oh, okay. So I didn't want to like out and out just contradict him if that was the case. But no, actually I agree. I think that exchanges, you'll find a lot more respect from communities. You'll probably do really well if the exchanges come to you to list you, So I don't think that he should do that. No, I mean, if I had my own project, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think that is even part of, like, I don't think that that's even like something that's going on for discussion. I don't think it's even up for discussion because I just don't think that he would do it regardless.
But I mean, it's, some exchanges, like if you want to get like a, major play, like a Binance, a Huobi, I don't discredit people for doing it. But you're doing a deal with the devil. It can take a long time to get away from that deal. So I personally think it, especially because it's a decentralized platform, it'd probably be better to just launch a DEX upon on top of Pulse, and have everyone use that initially, and then build out from there.
Yeah, and I think that is probably the plan. Same thing with Hex. It just launched on decentralized exchanges, and now more and more platforms are looking at listing it without asking for fees or anything.
Mm-hmm. It's better for the treasury. You can then use your treasury for incentivizing and marketing, or whatever else you want to do. So I'd rather not give money to Binance.
Yeah, right.
Nothing wrong with it, but I'm not banging on any project, but
Sure. Well, I mean, I think Binance is the most popular crypto exchange in the world, right? We're close to it. And a lot of people love to buy their coins there, and they get introduced to coins there, and there are absolutely advantages. But the coins that end up paying, some huge chunk of their total distribution to Binance, are putting their future in the hands of Binance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, then Binance can, because I've seen this specifically with a project that I held that has done really well now, but it took, years for them to get underneath from the thumb of Binance, because, if you're a small market cap and then let's say you got a great community, so Binance wants to make money off that and they launch, leverage trading, people are going to take advantage of that. It's easier to manipulate because it's a small market cap. I mean, why go there? If you don't have to, being such a young project.
Yeah. Yep. I think we are mostly in agreement with that. All right, Aztec. So we're like 40 minutes in.
Already? Wow.
What?
I was like, already? Wow.
Yeah. So do you have any like?
I'm usually a lot more like on my channel, and I like to talk more, on different, when I've gone live with other people, I'm probably a lot more like active. But here I really wanted to soak things up and just fill things out. This is the beginning of my research. So
yeah, no, I'm really glad that you decided to come on and start your research here. I was like begging you to come on. I really wanted Shane and Jack to come on too, because we've been like kind of having these conversations, throughout this last week. And yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. What do you have any questions or anything that you want to share?
I mean, everyone can find me at circle_crypto on Twitter. I have my own YouTube channel. I'm not very active on YouTube. Mainly, I make videos when I really feel that projects are not getting the value that they need. So, I do DD on projects, and if I find something that is going to be very powerful and no one's talking about it, then I'll talk about it. I make market updates every once in a while, so it's worth a watch when I make it, but
and you do really amazing tutorials too, like really, really complete.
Yeah, I've made a lot of different tutorials, and I work in the back end. I mean, because of LDA, we work on the back end and do a lot of different things for projects. So I'm really excited to see where Hex goes. I don't really have, I don't feel like this is the stream to like depart a ton of knowledge or anything right now. I think that I'm mainly here to learn. So I'm thankful that you invited me, and it's been a good experience.
Well, I'm really thankful that you decided to take some time out of your Saturday morning to come on. And how can I get a job in crypto if I don't code? Hey, you got an answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, LDA is a great example of, I'm in full-time crypto, and we work in marketing. But, to answer that question even further, I mean, there's already different platforms that are being created to kind of like a monster.com, where you can go and apply for different jobs. I don't know the name of it, but I know Pomp. Have you heard of Pomp? Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, of course. We know Pomp.
Yeah. So he created his own site, and there's tons of jobs. But to answer the question even more, I think that everything you see is going to be replaced, and not necessarily replaced, but there's going to be, a crypto related parallel for, so just get involved, just look at the technology. And if you learn and you're able to be valuable, you'll find your niche.
I think that there are infinite possibilities for what you can do in crypto, regardless of your coding ability. You can become a consultant. Like someone just said, you can work as a consultant. We're marketing, but we are definitely also a consultancy agency. That's like the biggest value part of what we do, advising companies how to adopt crypto into their system. If you have a specific unique skill set from outside of crypto that you can figure out how to apply within the industry, and there are not a lot of other people doing it, like that's valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also like a lot of people ask that question, and the easiest way to get in is join an ambassador program. There's tons of projects out there. find something that you like, that you personally, are bullish on, and join these ambassador programs, because they're going to allow you to network. They're going to allow you to meet people that can teach you, whether, marketing, or, many different jobs, or connect you to the right people. And as time goes, you can actually, get, it's actually how I got into LDA. And, many other people that I know, they started in an ambassador program, and they grew their skills, and moved into the industry.
Yeah, there are some people who work on other projects that we represent that came from ambassador programs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then another way, of course, is to do what I did and build the social media following.
There you go. Yeah.
And get their attention that way.
This is the time to do it too. Just don't wait. Just jump in. This is the fastest growing, ecosystem out there. Crypto assets. This technology is revolutionary. So just don't wait. Jump in. Get your hands dirty, and next thing you know, you're going to be a future millionaire.
Yeah, and seriously, don't be shy, because we, like, not just LDA, but like across the board, people need more. We all need more hands on deck.
It's true. It's true. Every project I talk to is like, there's so much that we want to do. We don't have enough people to do it. There's so much money flowing in crypto. You can pretty much just make up your own job and just do it.
Yeah, totally. You can. All right, Aztec, thanks so much for being here again. I want to ask you one more question, and it's like, I don't know, you and I already definitely have a bridge, but would you build a bridge with me between the Hex Pulse community and, have you seen my show before, where we build a bridge?
Let me see. How do you?
You got to go the other way.
I don't know if I could do.
You did it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, we built a bridge.
Found it.
Yeah, found. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for being my guest. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was a great stream. Don't forget that on Wednesday at 10:30 Pacific, I'm going to have BitBoy on building bridges. You guys know why that's relevant, why that's significant. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome time. Thank you all. And I'll see you Wednesday, if not before then, on Twitter.
Have a good one, guys.